Hello everybody, welcome, and it's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be a channeled energy reading into the Divine Masculine Collective. I've once again come into an abundance of downloads. I was taken to Godhead Cali, so there's a lot of destruction going on. Ritualistic spiritual destruction is what came through for the collective. So ideally, we are in the throes of this very intense transformational energy where we kind of change forms and we step into our highest principles, not for power, but for the greater collective. So it is about community efforts, and I feel a lot of energies are coming forward for the Divine Masculine, explaining the necessity of this breakdown energy, this destruction energy. So I feel this revolution energy is coming through collectively, and a lot of these masculines feel like they have absolutely no support at this time. And this is where they kind of understand how to maximize this expansion that is coming through when it comes to all of these universal supports, ensuring that the masculine will be able to restore his vitality. So a lot of awareness coming through when it comes to acceptance, and a lot of energies are coming through when it comes to the Divine Masculine's misuse of influence in past lives. And the energy is very insistent that the masculine take action. So it's this helter-skelter energy is what came through, helter-skelter. When it comes to the masculine committing acts of disorder in past lives, in this existence as well, and this oversensitivity of these energies coming forward when it comes to the masculine rejecting the feminine. So a lot of energy is coming through since synthesizing the twins connection. A lot of sensitivity when it comes to the solar plexus and the root center being activated when it comes to the rejection of this connection. A lot of energy is coming through when it comes to marriage and divorce. Ultimately, this is a direct result of the way the Divine Masculine has been living. So major emotional waves of upheaval is what I was shown when it comes to the tribal hierarchies and all of these negative influences. So, you know, the twins are at the top of the hierarchy for this new earth energy. And the masculine is being pushed into obedience when it comes to honoring these divine higher contracts. So a lot of cosmic translation is what's coming through, exerting the Divine Masculine's power to reject the karmic entities. So, you know, a lot of these karmics accessed the Divine Masculine's field, and then this has in turn, you know, distorted a lot of the Divine Feminines along the journey. And I feel as this initiation energy comes through, there's a lot of deep resonance coming forward when it comes to just how insensitive the Divine Masculine has been towards the Divine Feminine. So in other words, the Divine Masculine is coming into this acceptance of this karmic social circle, and, you know, and how he has willingly stood by all of these negative entities, supporting the darkness rather than supporting the Divine Feminine and all of these higher cosmic principles. So the masculine is being pushed to kind of reject that negative social agenda and to embrace this change as part of his reformation. So I kind of feel a lot of the masculines are in the throes of going to war is kind of what I was shown in the energies. And they can no longer avoid this spiritual revolution that's coming forward when it comes to fulfilling their true needs. So it's kind of like this necessary evil as a last resort in order to get the masculine to reject these negative influences and kind of take the high road. So a lot of nervous energy, a lot of fear of rejection as a result of these past consequences. The energy is feeling very unpredictable. Where I'm at here today, it's like in the minuses. It's like a freaking blizzard out there. And I was shown like the energy is very icy cold. A lot of bitterness. A lot of bitterness coming up to be transmuted as part of this platforming. So this overwhelming urge, impatient urge, is asking the masculine to cut those ties once and for all and to kind of step into this higher social agenda with the divine feminine. So, you know, we are here to embody these higher light frequencies, to embrace supporting actively positive human rights for humanity. And this necessary evil, I feel, is ensuring that these higher values be replaced by these old orders of negativity. So, you know, promises, 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 promises. And the divine masculine has not upheld his true promise for this mission towards the divine feminine. And the implementation of all of this destruction is coming in with Godhead Kali, creating this over insensitive energy where the masculine kind of has been taken advantage of. So it's like this reorganization coming through collectively that is ensuring the continued support and the continued understanding of these universal cosmic forces. So it is the law of cause and effect taking full force, and this concentrated energy is allowing this clear definition of what true power and authority means, not at the expense of these higher principles. So, you know, a lot of these masculines have rejected these higher cosmic principles, and they have sought to create all kinds of chaos, and, you know, they've played into this bitterness towards the divine feminine, and they've attracted all of these negative experiences as, you know, a result of this rejection. So, Action is what is required to support the divine masculine's expansion at this time. And this innate energy is transforming this fence sitter energy. A lot of these masculines sat on the fence, that Two of Pentacles energy, sat on the fence, not fully committed to the divine feminine, not fully committed to the karmic, and kind of sat on that fence, playing into some very insensitive energies, not willing to embrace this transformation. And I feel this very stubborn energy is bringing forward fatalities. And it's not like a literal death. It is a metaphorical death as part of this rejectionism towards the divine feminine in order for them to honor these higher cosmic rules. So it is this gateway of splitting apart, this assimilation of splitting apart into fragmented energies, in order for the divine masculine to bring this immortality into his awareness that will lead to acceptance of these diverse energies. So a lot of unique insights are opening up the doorway as many in the collective are going through this very powerful transmutation process with Godhead Maya. And you know, the masculine has attempted to undermine so many people throughout the journey, and he's lost sight of his missionary role, and this is bringing forward all kinds of darkness and negative effects. A lot of the feminines are sitting in that balanced, aligned energy of the sage, and this is where we really have to protect our energies to the extreme, as all of these evil, dark energies are coming forward in the masculine's life. So as the divine feminine stands in that highest expression for the greater good, this very powerful expression of insightful energies, this is where the divine masculine is mirrored back all of these undermining energies in order for him to establish, once again, those very high moral values. So a lot of restructuring is what I was shown. And this is like the gateway of inspiration and deep inner knowing when it comes to this finality and the masculine learning how to translate these cosmic energies into the physical language with the divine feminine. So acceptance of this diversity. A lot of the masculines are cutting through a lot of mental clutter. There's a lot of intolerance coming up as all of these transmutation energies take hold within the world globally. We are all connected. So a lot of these energies are bringing forward this initiation expression in order to bring forward all of these new ways of thinking, these new thought patterns within the collective. And what we know or we don't know will always attract others based on our vibrations. So a lot of these masculines held on to a lot of these very karmic contracts to keep them from going inside. And I feel this very stubborn energy is now turned into very aggressive self-defense is what's coming through, self-defense. because we are being asked to only speak of what we truly know. A lot of us are coming into our cosmic genius energy, recognizing, you know, these cosmic energies within our genius cosmic mind. And as the feminine is stepping into earning that respect within the collective, this is, you know, creating this freakishly dismissal energy surrounding the masculine. And it really is the right time for the masculine to speak up once and for all, to conceptualize these new cosmic energies. A lot of mental anxiety, because the masculine does know exactly what it is that he wants. He knows the truth. And he's created all of these misunderstandings when it comes to the dismissal of this connection on the heart. So a lot of self-defense. I do feel a lot of abandonment is coming through, and the masculine survival energy is being deeply threatened right now by the karmic. And this preservation energy, when it comes to these abandonment wounds, this intolerance, this threatening energy really is showing the masculine where he's lacked that expansion. You know, he's really not preserved his integrity in the silence. And with all of these moon energies coming through, you know, this protecting energy is bringing forward the masculine really needing to fend off a lot of hostile contracts at this time, a lot of hostility, and defensive energy. So the masculine is facing all of this hostility, creating all of this mind fragmentation in the energies, diversification when it comes to this synthesis between the counterparts. So it is this fatalism energy when it comes to his egoic nature and facing condemnation and consequences. And this really will bring forward great collective value. But there's a lot of paranoia coming up. I feel the masculine is feeling very endangered, very isolated, playing into these fear-based energies. And it's kind of time for this assimilation to come full circle, for the masculine to embrace practical acceptance and the value of choosing another path with the divine feminine. So a lot of expansion through this mind assimilation. And as the masculine goes through this transmutation, he will be gifted that gift of communicating these insights to the collective when he's on the other side. A lot of these masculines had very selfish motives, and they were coming from an inferior place. A lot of these masculines protect their ego because they do feel inferior. Although outwardly they appear to be very put together and, hey, I'm not afraid of anything, they actually are very inferior. And this negative motive drive really has created a lot of diversity, a lot of negative, challenging diversity in the masculine's life. And it's kind of time for this fusion, the fusion of the counterparts to come together. This spiritual attunement is coming through this very powerful synthesis. So this really is where we embrace this exponential growth of energy that's coming through and embrace our individual knowing when it comes to our mission. So I feel the masculine is being encouraged to withdraw from the karmic contracts at this time and to lead with benevolency. So a lot is coming through. I actually pulled some cards, and I usually do like to pull them on camera, but I pulled them early this morning, and I wasn't actually planning on channeling the energies for the collective, but I was asked to talk about what energies come through. So I kind of feel this big breakdown. The masculine's being thrown out of that false contract because of the lack of honesty. So I think a lot of truth has come forward, a lot of bitter truth when it comes to all of these lies that the masculines have played into. And definitely spirit has taken the lead right now. This is without a doubt in the divine hands, in the hands of the divine. So divine feminine, all you can really do is kind of step back and hold that space as the masculine spiritual pathway is illuminated. I don't think you have all of the information yet, divine feminine, so you are encouraged to be patient. Patience is one of the biggest lessons many of the divine feminines have to learn on this journey. Patience, to take that step back and to be that observer as that high priestess. So the masculine definitely is getting the brakes put on everything in his life right now. I know a lot of the masculines know they need that healing hand from you, Divine Feminine, as they kind of break away from all of these toxic people, all of these toxic situations that really are not serving their highest good. A lot of the masculines are feeling very lost right now, and they're trying to return to themselves, playing into all kinds of victimizations. I do feel a lot of the karmic contracts are victimizing the masculine really to the detriment, in order to show the masculine that he has to choose to take his true power back. So I feel a lot of processing in the heart center when it comes to these deep-seated emotions and the love that the twins do share on the heart together. And this is really the first step towards healing and towards the masculine understanding just how unhealthy this contract is. A lot of the masculines give and give and give and give because they feel if they keep giving, then they will be idolized in these false contracts, and I feel they are completely drained. The masculines are deeply struggling at this time. Deeply struggling. I do feel there's a move taking place, without a doubt. The walking away of that contract, whether it is the karmic that has walked away or the masculine walked away, either way, this is the breakdown of the pride and the ego, and there's definitely a coming apart of the false marital contracts, without a doubt. There's a lot of confusion. And I see a card fell on the floor. My cat was down on my desk earlier, so I'm going to pull deeper with some tarot. But it is this very confusing, spiraling energy. Big changes. A lot of inadequacy coming up to be addressed for the masculine when it comes to withholding this communication, constantly reliving the past, spiraling, really needing to gain control at this time. They know it's time to move houses. They know it's time to come and face you once and for all, Divine Feminine. They're really feeling very inadequate as all of these truths are kind of revealed. I had a beautiful connection stop by yesterday, another Divine Feminine, and she lent me her Seasons of the Witch Oracle. My guides were adamant that I needed this oracle deck specifically to channel the Divine Masculine's energies this reading. So thank you, Jess, if you're watching. Thank you for lending me this deck, because some very powerful energies came through. And I normally don't read out of the book, but I just got this deck in my hands a couple of days ago. But it is this energy of the masculine has taken a bite out of the poisoned apple. I got the apple card. So what the card says is, to taste, one must swallow it whole, and beneath the satin flame hides drowning waters. And it's a 4, so foundation. So a lot of these karmics gave the masculine the rotten apple or the poisoned apple to keep them under the veil of illusion. And I think the masculine swallowing this truth whole right now, having a hard time digesting the veil of illusion being lifted, because I also pulled the underworld energy, and that's where the masculine's at, deep within the underworld. It's like he's been handed over to the darkness when it comes to this shift, being encouraged to take a leap of faith in order to find that clarity, because the veil of illusion has definitely been lifted. Pardon me. And then we get this banshee, and I'm like, banshee, you think of a banshee, it's like a terror in the night. So there's a lot that has become crystal clear, and in the past the masculine have swallowed these truths, and there's a lot of tears, like bleeding tears is what I'm shown, bleeding tears when it comes to all of these stormy emotions as the masculine turns deeply inward. And I feel the masculine did not heed the warnings, did not follow the red flags. And I kind of feel it's like he's swallowing nails in the energy when it comes to this deep bleeding from within. And where is he being asked to go? To the wise sage, to the Divine Feminine, to complete this rebirth process. And so interesting. And then the coming of winter, and that is exactly what it looks like outside here, is the coming of winter. I swear to God, it's like a freaking blizzard out there right now where I'm at. So this is where everything is deeply mirrored back to the divine masculine, and it really is time to lay this burden down once and for all. In all death, there is an awakening, and this is a very painful awakening that we go through as twin flames because our calling is so intently high. And I feel the masculine is beholding the sight of all of his ancestors, all of the ancient wisdom. And there really truly is magic in these dark, dark places, but you have to dare to open your eyes in the darkness. I remember being a kid and I was always afraid of the dark. 2020 vision. Once again, that really has been coming up a lot. 2020 vision is always in hindsight, right? So the divine masculine knows that the feminine is the medicine that he needs right now, as, you know, all of these teething energy kind of take their bite out of the divine masculine. And he's kind of at the mercy of the divine feminine right now, as the divine feminine really has been the one that held that golden mirror up to him. So we're going to read out of the book. I really want to go into the book because I read into the book. So when it comes to this apple energy, so we all know the story of Snow White taking that rotten apple or that poisoned apple from the stepmother who is masqueraded as somebody loving and caring. And that's kind of what the karmic did, masqueraded as the divine feminine with the veil of illusion. And you know, this story of Snow White existed long before Disney ever made that movie. So, you know, warning. It was like a warning. So basically, the karmic now has turned into his greatest enemy. She's hid behind this mask, this veil, and, you know, played the savior for the masculine when in actuality, she's created this infused death energy. She's really not gave the masculine life. If anything, she stole the life force energy from the feminine. And now that the feminine has no longer been lured into this trap of feeding the masculine energy, the veil of illusion has been lifted. And all of these rotten people surrounding the masculine that have taken advantage of him, that he's trusted without pause, have now kind of been the masculine's detriment. So all kinds of people are falling away. It's like all of these distorted visions of all of these people are being shown, and the truth has been revealed. So a lot of warning energy when it comes to the masculine getting out of this very toxic situation. Danger, betrayal, and deception are all around the divine masculine right now. And he's really needing to tread carefully to not be pulled back into that very seductive energy of being taken advantage of. Because really, the karmic set the masculine up for this extreme failure. So when it comes to the banshee energy, this is pretty interesting. So really, it's bad omens and spiritual wrath coming forward full force is what I feel in the energies. Like if you think of a banshee, it's like a very dark spiritual energy that brings forward like brutal negativity. So it's like the masculine is kind of being murdered in the darkness, not literally, but metaphorically murdered by the karmic. When it comes to this threatening energy, because the masculine didn't listen. He don't listen to the divine feminine's energy, and I feel he's intensely grieving the loss of the divine feminine and the energies coming into this understanding of this eternal connection, and it's immense sadness coming up when it comes to this omen energy. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of wrath coming forward for the divine masculine's lack of reciprocity, and I feel he's directing all kinds of anger outwardly. There's a lot of projections coming through in the energies. The masculine's held on to this anger and this heartache for such a long time, and now it's coming out in very sinister ways, and this is part of the rebirth process for the masculine to step into his pure powers and unconditional love with the divine feminine. And then we get the veil energy, 41. Breaking down 2 of 5, and we're going to read out of the book for that one as well. Really, the feminine is being called to be that observer. She really does hold all of this ancient truth. A lot of the feminines had tried to warn the masculine over and over again with this expanded knowledge. And the masculine just, you know, he was not willing to listen to those amplified messages. And now he's really needing to utilize his discretion. 40. I'm looking for it in the book here, guys. Give me a minute. The veil. Yeah, the veil of illusion. He's deep in the throes of the underworld, that Plutonic energy. And we do have Pluto going retrograde at the end of April, which is really going to intensify this transition. But it's kind of like Judgment Day. And the underworld is the place where we transition between one life into the next, one phase into the next. So this is where the masculine retreats and replenishes his soul and really learns the details of this spiritual assignment with the divine feminine. You know, he's definitely crossed the veil at this point in time to transition and to move out of all of these old negative karmic ways of being, living, and to step into this newness. So a lot of karmic baggage is being cleared. That's been needing to be cleared for a long, long time. There's a lot of things being removed from the masculine's life as he crosses this threshold, and it is very scary. I think the masculine fears death. He fears death. But this new path has been prepared by the divine feminine, and the masculine is being encouraged to embrace this change. Karma. There's a lot of karma coming through, and I talked about those scales of justice and the weighing of the heart. So the time really has come to place the divine masculine's heart on those scales of justice and to be mindful of how he has chosen to live his life. And the time has come to make amends wherever he needs to once and for all, because this karma is coming back tenfold. And he's facing all kinds of jealousy, gossip, manipulation. And this is due to what he has directed towards the feminine. And now it's coming back on him, and he has to be responsible for paying back this karmic debt with added interest. So, you know, we are always told, treat others how you want to be treated. And the masculine did not treat the divine feminine with respect. And now he's trying to figure out, how the heck do I prove to the divine feminine that my heart is of pure intention when I never treated you with respect the first time around? So the masculine's really attracted all of this darkness, and all of this truth is being revealed that has been concealed due to the karmic's veil of illusion. And the masculine's kind of between worlds at this time, and you know, he's not going to get a free pass any longer when it comes to recharging this this connection. When it comes to stepping forward towards the divine feminine goddess, the ancestors, the guides, and the ghosts of the past have come back full circle to haunt him. The entire universe is supercharging this transition when it comes to all of these truths that have been revealed when it comes to this karmic situation. So a lot is being uncovered. A lot is being uncovered, and these truths can no longer be concealed is kind of what I'm feeling. So let's jump in with a couple of tarot cards. We will use the Tarot of Dreams, and there's where the masculine's at, the crossroads, the lovers, the Two of Wands, and that Judgment energy. Oh, this is so heavy. So we just had Mercury go into Aries, and we got Aries and the masculine energy. He needs to make a decision. He's been on the fence between the toxic bond and the bond with the feminine, and it is Judgment Day is upon the divine masculine. Judgment Day, and we got that masculine energy again coming through with the Pisces. So a lot of these masculines had the veil of illusion on. A lot of these karmics portrayed to be loyal. This is your happily ever after, and it's not. I think there's been a lot of exposure when it comes to cheating. And the masculine's going deep within. I feel he's been really going within since about that Virgo full moon. When it comes to doing the work, he's definitely losing all kinds of faith. He knows the feminine really should not take him back. He knows he doesn't deserve the divine feminine in the energies. He's praying, all right. He's praying on his knees at rock bottom, and this is that rebalancing. Something about that first eclipse season, the Taurus, Scorpio eclipse access, there's going to be major rebalancing. Libra, the time is now for justice to be served. And I feel the universe is communicating this death energy. If you notice, that's Plutonian energy. It's kind of time to close out these past cycles. Everything is coming full circle. Gemini, when it comes to these unions. And the masculine is deep within his emotions when it comes to these past abuses. He was a master manipulator. He wanted his cake and to eat it too. He played into that scorpionic darkness, blocked off his emotions towards the feminine, and, you know, abused the divine feminine's love. And, you know, that lack of communication was a form of manipulation. Ghosting is actually one of the worst forms of emotional and mental abuse. When you make somebody feel like they don't even exist, you don't even acknowledge the fact that you left a shit show of damage behind, and now this is all coming back on the masculine, and I'm sure it hurts very deeply, but the wheel is saying, hey, it's time to expand beyond this manipulative behavior. It's time to take back control of your life, Cancer. There's a lot coming up when it comes to the closing of this cycle, guys. Saturn is coming in and saying, hey, we're not doing this anymore. It's time to learn this lesson. Like, it's time to take that leap of faith in a new direction. Harness all of those powers for benevolent leadership, because we are here to build those legacies for the future, those new foundations. And once again, that Saturn energy, that strict lesson. I remember being in that position. I remember the rejection, the pain, the separation, months and months and months on the floor, in the fetal position. I could barely take care of my children, let alone myself. And I was abandoned at rock bottom. And now what's happening is this is kind of coming full circle in the divine masculine's life. All of these burdens, and he's being taken to that rock bottom to understand that the time is now for action. Since that Sag new moon, there was a lot of states of transcendence, is what I'm feeling. A lot of spiritual communication when it comes to learning this very powerful strict lesson. The universe is communicating a lot of ancestral communication when it comes to this new pathway opening up. And you know, the truth of the fact that it's time to walk away from this destruction. It's time to walk away from these manipulative ways. The veil of illusion, once again, Saturn and Pisces. And there's that tower, that brute force coming in. So the masculine can't avoid this takedown, just like the feminine was activated and went through the transition and the activations. The masculine now has to find his strength to come out the other side victorious. Shedding the ego, the pride, the ego, the guilt, the shame, the Leo energy. Leo energy, that's interesting. My divine masculine's Jupiter is actually in Leo. So a lot of expansion when it comes to, you know, breaking free and starting with that clean slate. Because, you know, this is our wish, these spiritual unions. And I feel the masculine's in the throes of a lot of disillusionment at the hands of the karmic, who has kept all of these blocks in place, created all of these challenges, preventing the masculine from stepping into truth. And, well, guess what? The masquerade is over. That party is over, because the universe said, hey, you can't keep feeding energy into something that's a game. And it's been a game. A lot of masks, a lot of masquerading. And it's kind of time to temper himself. It's time for this moderation, this exposure is what I'm feeling. And I haven't even shuffled the deck yet. Wow, pretty powerful message. So a lot when it comes to the lying, the thieving, the stealing, the cheating, and needing to have that conversation. It's kind of time to have that conversation, to send that message, and to do the work to restore a sense of balance so we can step into abundance. And I think the divine feminine is being gifted a windfall, an inheritance, all kinds of abundance for going into the darkness and understanding these mysteries. And then this is creating that shift, that change in consciousness with the divine masculine when it comes to this missed opportunity. He's not wanted to look at you, because in looking at you, he has to face all of this darkness. I think get ready for the masculine to quickly come in. He does want this brand new beginning with you. And he is at that rock bottom with the Emperor reversed. He's definitely getting burned in the energies by the karmic. So let's get some Sisterhood of the Rose messages. So healing, deep healing is happening. And we are tapping into this soul call energy. The divine feminine is in that high resonance, in that aligned energy. And this really is creating the movement that's coming through is what I'm feeling. So definitely a lot of light code activations. The masculine's in that cosmic womb of the spiritual blueprint that the twins do share, embracing these changes, knowing it's time to take that next step when it comes to these cycles of life, this transition, this growth, trusting in the seasons. And I thought it was spring and now we're back to winter. So it's like the energy of 3 steps forward, 5 steps back. And the masculine just can't progress until he returns to the feminine with compassion and humility is what I'm feeling. And, you know, we all have to go through that rock bottom moment of humiliation when it comes to this awakening. So I feel the masculine is being moved by your goddess alignment, divine feminine. This is what we came for. The masculine is being asked to gather his strength to answer the call. And I do feel a lot of the feminines are being watched over by a mother figure or a grandmother figure on the other side. You know, we are the granddaughters of the witches. They didn't burn during the Salem witch trial. So a lot of us have a crossed over loved one, either a grandmother or a mother figure or a great grandmother that has brought forward these deep roots as part of our journey, as our guide. And we need to trust in the weavings because there is clarity coming and a fresh new start as the feminine kind of aligns with that positive attitude is what's coming through. So yeah, as the divine feminine moves forward with spiritual clarity, this is where the masculine needs to find his resilience to overcome all of these very karmic challenges in the energy. And it is the energy of what goes around, comes around. And the masculine's kind of being forced to shed all of these limiting beliefs in order to embrace this universal love that the twins share. Lots of messages coming through today. The energy is like, wow. So in order for the masculine to shift out of stagnation, he's going to have to speak that truth and come forward with that communication is what I'm feeling. So definitely stepping into our mystic healing capabilities. In the heart space, the masculine is trying to release that fear. If he's ever going to experience the sweetness of the divine feminine's nectar, he's definitely going to have to embrace these changes. We got a couple of serious activation cards today. Not serious as in the starseed serious, but like this is serious. Like it's go time is what I'm being told. So 65 and 66, the blue star and the silver star. Blue I always link to throat. Green is the heart. There's a lot coming through when it comes to, you know, some third eye visions, when it comes to connecting to the divine masculine's purpose. And he is exactly where he needs to be right now in order to clear the pathway, in order to overcome these challenges. I'm going to grab the book again, guys. I was not planning on a 40-minute message today, but I'm going to read. I don't even have the box the right way up. So, yeah, everything's kind of like flip-floppy. So, yeah, and I feel the feminine is aligned with her mystic capabilities. And if you see, it does look like two becoming one. And that is how this journey is supposed to be. The masculine is supposed to stand behind the divine feminine and be that male protector for the feminine to step into her mystic healing gifts. And the masculine has not honored that connection. So I feel a lot of karmic repercussions in the energy are coming through as the masculine does embrace divine karmic freedom. So I do feel the masculine's really asking himself, who the hell am I in these energies? Because we truly are God in human form, and we are to experience all aspects of our inner divinity to bring these wishes forward. So I do feel a lot of the masculines have been handed the keys to their own cosmic consciousness. And there is a lot of integration when it comes to the higher chakras, all the way up to the 9th chakra, in order for him to access his own inner divine self. And the energies really are assisting in this manifestation. So a lot of other realms of travel when it comes to the other dimensions that have been unlocked when it comes to the masculine spiritual talents and abilities, and all of this energy that's been contained in the twin soul blueprint that they share. And it's this trial energy. He's really needing to navigate carefully as he goes through this karmic trial because he's being called to unmute his voice and to come forward with that truth, with the divine feminine, to take those next steps, to go towards meaning. A lot of these masculines have been dealing with a shapeshifter, and it's kind of time to shift that perspective when it comes to these multidimensional energies, and all of the angels and the guides are pushing the masculine to embrace these heightened senses and to make that decision from a deep intuitive place rather than fear. So a new level of inner revelation. My ear is ringing. My ears have been ringing all morning. So I do feel a lot of clairaudiency has been coming through as the feminine kind of fully steps into her service-oriented purpose. The feminines are, most of us are in our spiritual service-based position, and this is creating divine liberation as we kind of embrace this resolute faith with the divine and what we have been shown with our guides. And we are preparing for that sacred union, for this brand new experience of soulful abundance and material balance. So the masculine is being asked to look beyond his ego-based desires and to consider the damage done, to face the emotional consequences of what he has done so he can live a life of service with the divine feminine. So he's going to have to be willing to open up his heart and to ask for what it is that he wants in order to kind of balance the scales as part of this enlightening process. So I feel when it comes to the shadow aspect, the masculine really is receiving the accolades that he deserves for his abuse of power in return. So a lot of the masculines played the martyr. They've not been selfless. They've not been giving. They've been giving to everybody but the person they were supposed to be giving to. And I feel there's a lot of resentful energy coming up because the masculine rejected you. And it is through this humility that the masculine can embrace a heartfelt offering for you, divine feminine. So do be prepared for a return, because the energy is restoring the masculine sense of purpose and oneness with you, I feel. So I think do expect a visit or a phone call very soon as the masculine's life is reorganized and he is being pushed into service as this energy shift kind of takes over and brings this deep sense of expansiveness of his heart forward. So yeah, the energy is definitely quite intense. So we'll close off the reading with a romance angel. I think the masculine is kind of finally ready to seek that help. A lot of these masculines, you know, their pride and their ego, you know, they didn't ask for help. I think they do need to seek support from you as they go through this ascending journey, because we are ascending into those higher level of commitments of lifetime partnerships, and it's kind of time to have that heart-to-heart conversation, especially when it comes to the children that were negatively affected by the divine masculine's poor decisions. It really is kind of time to honestly discuss this once and for all. It doesn't mean you have to take the divine masculine back, but we do kind of need to officially close this book so we can enter into these new cycles of romance. And I do feel the decision is going to be in your hands, divine feminine, but you are encouraged to listen with an open heart and an open mind. I do feel, you know, the financial struggles are becoming too much, and the masculine knows it's time to release that karmic X. And he's disconnecting, wanting to come forward for that forgiveness, because there's this strong magnetic draw towards you, and it's kind of time once and for all to heal the past so we can step into these loving experiences, whether it's with your counterpart or a high vibration soulmate. Like I said, I think because we've cleared the karma, the decision will be ours. But I do think the energy is saying it is safe for you to love again. It is safe for you to open up your heart and to listen and to receive what the divine masculine has to say, because he is definitely separating from that karmic energy, without a doubt, separating for this reconciliation that you have attracted back, divine feminine, by your efforts. So get ready for a blast from the past, because I kind of feel it's time for the masculine to extend that offer, that apology, that energy that was never reciprocated in order to enter into these higher level of commitments, because we are here to step into marriage and committed partnerships. And divine timing has definitely been at work, and we always have the ability to speed up divine timing by coming into alignment. But a lot of us have waited many years for this reconciliation, and we have transformed so much along this journey. I know I'm not the same person I was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And I think it's kind of time for the twins to get to know each other again, their innermost selves again, and to accept this spiritual bond and to deepen it and to express the love that we truly do share. This is unconditional love, not unconditional tolerance, but I feel the masculine is releasing all kinds of control issues, freeing himself from this very karmic entity that really has brought forward all kinds of negative influences. And the masculine is taking back control of his life, is kind of the energy coming through. So that's what I got for the energies, the current energy check-in. I really do hope this helped you guys. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin flame reading with me, I do encourage you to check out that description box below. I'm booking into April, and I'm very sporadic with my bookings because I did say I was taking time off until May, but I'm making some exceptions. I'm just not overexerting myself. I'm still in the throes of some spiritual coursework, preparing for the expo in town here on the weekend of April 23rd and 24th. But do reach out if you feel a reading would benefit you for where you're at in your own journey, and I will get that booked in for you. Other than that, I hope you all have a fabulous Sunday, and I look forward to connecting with you all again tomorrow morning with the forecast for the week ahead, and it's going to be intense. So buckle down, batten down the hatches, get grounded and clear that space, and get ready for a very intense week ahead for the twin flames. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.